Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah. I have 4 kids between the ages of 8 and 1 and have been homeschooling them since preschool days. And today I'd like to share with you what we used for 2nd grade. My oldest son did 2nd grade last year, so that's 2019 through 2020. And let's go ahead and jump in. I will start by saying that we do school 4 days a week. I'm not sure when we'll feel the need to change that. If you are a homeschooler, I'd love to get to know you. Leave me a comment below. Tell me what ages your kids are and how many days a week you guys do school. The next curriculum I want to show you actually covers 4 subjects: history, Bible, music, and science. My father's world. Now, we got the set for 2nd to 3rd graders, which is Adventures in U.S. History. And this curriculum very conveniently lays out each week's lesson plans for you, and it's set up for a 4-day school week, which is my kind of school schedule. For history, we went through the discovery of America. We learned about pioneer life from the perspective of pioneer children. We learned about important historical figures from Leif Erikson up to Henry Ford. We also learned about the states in order of when they became a state, and they'd have a sheet with lots of fun facts about each state. There would usually be a craft or a recipe each week related to the topic, which really brought the material to life, and we really enjoyed those. Disclaimer, we didn't make every recipe. And that's okay. You can make your homeschooling your own. Science was only 2 days a week. At this age, they don't need a heavy science curriculum, so this was fine. But I will note that the lessons were pretty random in topic every day, but they loved the experiments. There was typically 1 experiment for each week, and they were usually pretty simple, using stuff that we already had around the house. Again, in full disclosure, we did not do every single experiment, but having those already laid out for us was a great option and definitely helped to pique their interest in science in general. For Bible, they had a new memory verse every other week, and then all the scripture that we would read throughout the week would be related to the topic of that memory verse. I liked this setup, but I will say that I felt like the concepts were a little over their head at this age. We learned different names for Jesus, like the rock, the vine, living water, and these things are pretty abstract ideas, so I felt like they were a little bit hard for this age. For music, this was typically 2 days a week where we would learn a new patriotic song. This is Your Grand Old Flag. And then other times we would be learning about the composer Tchaikovsky, who composed the music for the Swan Lake Ballet, the Nutcracker Ballet, and lots of others. This was probably my favorite part about the whole curriculum. Okay, also in the lesson plans, every week there was a read aloud book that was suggested that I honestly didn't feel like reading aloud. I'm done, kids. So if I could find that book on YouTube where someone else is reading aloud, or maybe find it as an audiobook, then I would opt for that. I would have them listen to this audiobook like 20 minutes a day, and we didn't even do that every single school day. Which, pro tip, it's a great time to have them fold their laundry. Because usually if I have them like turn on a TV show, they're super distracted by it and don't end up folding their clothes. But when you're listening to an audiobook, you kind of need to do something with your hands so that you can stay focused, at least for kids. And so put some laundry in their hands, let them get to work. My Father's World sells a basic package with just the teacher's manual and the student sheets. Or you can buy the deluxe package, which includes all the books that they use to teach all the material. A lot of the books, though, you can get from the library. So the way I did it is I looked at the list of books and figured out which ones we could get from the library, and then I just bought the ones that we couldn't get from our library. And then I did go ahead and buy a couple of the books that you're going to end up using throughout the whole year, because obviously that would be hard to just be using library books for that. You can also find used deluxe packages or basic packages of this material on eBay, so check there if you're looking for a deal. For math, we did Math You See and have done that since 1st grade, and we love it. I love it most of all because it comes with an instructional video, so I don't have to worry that I'm teaching the concepts incorrectly. For 2nd grade, use the beta book, which I've linked to below. You'll need to purchase the student pack, and you can either order the DVD or you can purchase lifetime access to the videos online. This is great because we don't have to buy the entire package for each next kid who's going to go through it, just the student workbook. Side note, you really don't need the teacher's manual because it comes with the teacher on the video. So we would do math 3 days a week. The first day we would watch the instructional video and he would do 1 worksheet, and then he would do 2 more worksheets throughout the week. Now each lesson actually has 6 worksheets in the workbook, so if he needed more practice to better understand a particular concept, then I would just have him do more worksheets before we moved on to the next. For spelling, handwriting, language arts, and reading, we were still going through level 1 from The Good and the Beautiful of their language arts book, which is okay because the older version had very advanced concepts in it, a lot of 2nd grade concepts, so we were still right on track. If you saw my video about our 1st grade curriculum, then you've already seen inside this set, which I'm getting ready to show you now.
I bought the set and it came with the course book, phonics cards to practice with, and a book of short stories for the child to read. This book also includes literature and art appreciation. That's the beautiful part of it.
Now, they have a new version online that you can download for free. How amazing is that?
So here's the PDF of their new edition. You work through 1 lesson per day, which tells you when to have them practice with the phonics cards and when to read a short story. So just a quick look at lesson number 1. They always write out what you are to read to the child, how to instruct them. We read a poem, they've got an activity to do with the poem, and then we go and do some phonics learning. Then they are to read for 10 minutes on their own, and then the rest of this lesson is independent work. They've got some spelling practice, some homophone practice, and then another spelling activity, and then some art appreciation and writing.
So I'll link to their site below. The new edition says that it's set up where if the child completes 1 lesson a day for 4 days a week, then they are set to complete the whole book within 1 school year. Part of the lesson is instruction time and the other part is independent work, which I love. Each lesson can take about 1 hour to complete if the child is focused. But remember, half of that is independent work and you're knocking out several subjects all at one time. So I feel like it's pretty efficient. Okay, so that covers our core subjects. The one other thing that we would do each week was piano lessons, which if you've heard me talk about before, we love the Hoffman Academy on YouTube. He's amazing. So my son would watch 1 lesson per week and then practice the other days. And that sums up our 2nd grade year. As much as I loved the My Father's World curriculum and I would recommend it, I am this year looking for a science and history curriculum that's video based so that it's 1 less subject that I have to teach, which will free me up to work with my other kiddos. So if you know of any great science or history curriculums that are video based, please drop it in the comments below. I would love to check that out. So if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. As always, thank you for joining me today. I'll talk to you soon.